Good. How are you?
Good, 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 good. Love what you're wearing. Is it a top or a dress?
It's a top. I got it at the rack last week because I was in like a fashion emergency and I like needed to like have like an emergency top. So me and my mom ran out. I ended up getting
Yeah.
a little bit more than I originally planned, but this shirt was there and I kind of really loved it. All about like the florals for
Yeah.
fall.
Very pretty. Absolutely. So tell everyone, first, everyone, I think, yeah, we can get started. Hello, hello, hello. My name's Natasha Nurse, owner and co-founder of Dressing Roommate. I'm here with the one and only Faith Costa. She's a model, artist, social media maven, activist. She does everything and is stunning, as you can all see. So she's here to join us to talk to us about how to release your inner artist. And as we get prepped and stuff, I know you probably are still working on a couple of things, right, before we're good to go?
Yeah, sorry. I'm having like connection problems. So I'm just doing okay, I'm just taking off the Wi-Fi so it's a better connection. Okay, I'm so sorry. I kind of missed that last
Okay.
minute.
No, no worries. I was just saying, yeah. So let's see. Is the connection good for you now?
It is so much better. I'm so sorry.
Good.
I
No
was getting broken up.
No worries. And so before we get started, I'd love for you to share with everyone your New York Fashion Week experience, just because not everyone gets to go to the show. And as a model and artist, I think you probably loved it, right?
I did. At CurvyCon, I got to go to the Lost Runway show, and it was like so inclusive. It was so wonderful. I got so
Awesome.
excited to see models on the runway that I know and love, and was so
Yeah.
excited to see there and represent us. Us as in
Yeah.
all. And
Yep.
I had such a great time. And for anyone who missed it, like go online and like look it up, and you'll see a lot more inclusivity. And
Awesome.
yeah, I was super excited to be there.
Very cool. Awesome. 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 And do you have any remaining events for the rest of the week or no?
This week, no, I'm kind of just relaxing. I'm going back to LA on Sunday, and then I have to come
Woo!
home, and then I'm going to Connecticut for my cousin's wedding, and then I'm coming back, and then I'm leaving
Ooh.
again. So
Oh my gosh,
this week,
that's crazy. And me and her, we have our Style for It live stream on Saturday. So you are a busy lady indeed.
yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
excited about that.
goodness.
You're getting into fall
Yes,
vibes.
yes, yes. And I'll talk about also like influencer and what it means to like fashion wise, what do we need? What do we try to avoid? All that like real talk conversation. So I think it'll be good. So you guys stay tuned. Go to the facebook.com/style for it this Saturday. I believe we're at 12, right? As well.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, well, with that, let's get started. First, just to start the journey off, telling everyone how you got into art and why art was so important to you that you actually even became an artist.
I have loved art since I was a little girl. I always tell the story about how when I was in kindergarten, um, they were asking us like, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And everyone was like, "I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a princess." And I was the weirdo who
Yeah,
was like, "I'm going to be an artist." And
love it,
like
love
not
it.
even realizing, I don't even think I knew what an artist was, but I knew what art was and I knew that I loved it. And it
Mm,
really hasn't even changed since. Even that I'm in like fashion now, it's still colors and textures and patterns and expressing
yeah,
yourself. And I, started taking art classes outside of school when I was in like fourth grade because my mom knew that how much I loved it and wanted to
yeah,
give me more accessibility to do that. So I took classes for years and years for more than half of my life.
wow,
Um, outside of like regular like in school like art classes and things just because I loved it so much.
cool.
And it really has always been such a passion of mine. I love it. I love expressing myself. I love trying different
Hmm.
things.
Mm,
Art is so important, and I feel like for everyone to figure out a way to express themselves in a creative outlet, whatever that may be, whether it's writing, singing, drawing,
yeah,
collaging, like whatever it is, I feel like it's
yeah.
so vital for uh, people to have that kind of catharsis.
Absolutely. For me, similar to you, I've always loved art. I mean, my art. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Mine are usually like I do like doodles, which my husband Khalil will laugh at because he's like,
They're
"What is
great.
that?"
I
And I'm
love
like.
Well, because you're so creative and you love express, you are that like colors and textures and
Yeah.
you love to create things and I always love seeing
Yes.
what you do.
Yeah, so I like to, I've always drawn, even when people are talking to me, sometimes I'll just be like in the middle of a drawing. So I love drawing. But you know what type of art I haven't explored yet, and I'd love for you to talk on. Have you ever done anything with like pottery or like physical structures that you've made?
I guess I was little, I mean, but old enough, but I took pottery classes as like a little
Mm,
girl, like actual pottery classes because I wanted to try it because I like to try like different things.
yeah.
I problem. So I liked it because it was messy and
Yeah.
it kind of like I kind of failed a lot. And it's sometimes really
Mm,
technical, but you can also really, like get into it. And
yeah.
I loved getting messy, you know, and
Yeah.
I loved being able to really like practice that skill
Mm,
of
mm,
because it is kind of a skill on the wheel and things like that, if you do that. And but
mm-hmm.
like for me, like I love like making jewelry.
Oh,
I
fun.
love like doing those kinds of things, three-dimensional. I
Ah.
was really into sculpture or anything like that, but I
Mhm.
I'd say 90% of the different medias of art I just
You've
love.
tried it.
Yeah.
Wow. And for anyone tuning in, either on the live, and thank you guys for tuning in. If you have questions, feel free to add them. Faith is here to give us her wisdom and insight about releasing our inner artist. So, like, for someone watching and maybe they want to get into it, but they're a little bit nervous, what would you say is like step one for them?
Just do it.
Ah, yes, Nike all the way.
Sometimes it's hard. I know even for myself still to like start something is difficult. But if it's something that you're thinking about, something that you're curious about, like start small, get a piece of
Mm,
paper, find a pen, find a pencil, sit in front of the TV and doodle if that's what you want to start doing, you know.
gotcha.
There's so many different ways. If you're a little bit more committed, maybe just sign up for a class. I mean,
Mm,
take usage of those types of things. That's how, I mean, I kind of got thrown into it. I really was like, from when I was little, but even still, I took classes up until, a few years ago. And I actually was just talking to
wow.
my mom about how I want to take another class, start taking classes
Mm,
again, just because it's more of a routine. It kind of forces you every week to go and,
yeah.
create. Um, and there's skill, but it's also, it's just passion. So anyone can do it.
Mm,
There's nothing that, it's like, oh, the what people always say is, well, I'm not good. I don't know how to do that.
yeah.
Not what it's about. Art isn't
Mm,
about knowing how to do it. It's about
yeah.
figuring it out and making
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
So if you want to start, figure out maybe you just want to hop into painting. Just,
Hmm.
start out with the basics. Watch YouTube videos. I always loved,
Mm,
again, when I was little, I loved books. Like going
okay.
like Barnes& and Noble and getting art books to get
Yeah.
inspired and teaching you how to draw a face and like things
Mm,
like that. So great. So great.
awesome. Awesome. How important is it to kind of be aware of current day artists like yourself? Do you tune into other artists and what they're doing, and how does that affect you and your work?
So, like growing up, I really didn't know about any living artists.
Okay. Wow.
I really didn't. It was all kind of, the masters.
Yeah.
But thank God for social media. I have
Mm,
my art Instagram account, and literally because of that, I follow hundreds of artists that work every day and post things that I would have
love it.
never seen or heard of because just
Hmm.
it's difficult sometimes. Like I didn't know how to go about that. I don't really, I'm not going to art galleries and in that scene. So for the average person,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that they are either, but generally almost everyone has, if you're watching this, you have access to social media. So you're already
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You can look up hashtag artist and a million people come up. You can look up,
Mm,
things like that. And there's
yes.
so many that I follow that I love and get inspired by, and
Mm.
different ways. I know that I see people and they do the videos of different techniques, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that, or how did they do that,
Ah,
or even like an image where I'm like, yes, that's inspiring. I want to do a
yeah,
version of my sense. So
yeah.
I think it is relatively important, but also it's, you don't have to actually like be in the art scene
Mm.
to be a part of it.
Gotcha.
It's
Absolutely.
about you and what you're doing, but also it's educational and supportive and, you
Mm.
know, really great to also learn about working artists right now. And because if you want
Absolutely.
to be an artist, also, if you want to make money, then you got to support each other, right? So
True,
you
true,
should
true, true.
know, I'd say. And it
Yeah.
takes time.
Awesome. And good morning, Stefan and Sam. Thank you for tuning in. And anyone else who's tuning in and going to watch us on the replay, we appreciate it. When it comes to, now that's interesting. You talked a little bit about finance, like money and art. So when it comes to your art, how much of it is driven essentially, like what drives you other than passion? Is it also like you think, oh, I'm going to sell this and I want to make X amount? Like, does that come into the process for you?
Sometimes, yeah. I've been selling my art since I was
Yeah.
in middle school.
Wow.
I was having people commission things for me at a young age.
Yeah.
But at that point, it was never about the money. It was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
cool that someone wanted my art to
yeah,
have. And I feel
yeah.
like that's still ingrained in me. So,
Mm,
money thing, it would be nice if I could make more money off of it, but then
yeah,
the term starving artist wouldn't be uh, relatable. Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I I do like that I can make money off of my art. I like that um, people want to have my art in their homes or to
Yeah,
gift and have things commissioned. And
absolutely.
I think if that's something that you also want, then you should go for it,
Mm,
promote yourself, start a page on Instagram or Facebook or something with your art.
hmm.
Do little things for friends and post them. I always used to do like portraits of friends and things, and then people would see them and then want them for
Yeah,
themselves, and I would get commissions off of that. When I was
gotcha.
in high school. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so there's like a lot of different avenues. Money is a drive for, I would believe, almost anyone. Hey,
Yep.
Avinash. um, but it has to be about passion first, I would say. Passion first,
Absolutely.
money second, and you gotta just love what you're doing. You know,
Gotcha. Okay.
and it's not worth
And,
it. You don't want it. You don't want people to buy something that you hate, do you?
mm,
You
no,
know,
no, no,
that
no.
that was miserable doing that you just don't enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much of your life do you portray in your art? Is art like a total fantasy world that you create, or if you were bullied, do you make pieces around that? If you were dealing with negative people or negative situations, does that come into your art? How does your art essentially become created, and what comes into it?
I would say it's like 50-50, honestly.
Mm.
Um, I'd say sometimes it is, and sometimes it's completely irrelevant, and it's a getaway.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
I always, when I was like, like in high school, and like I always talk about, like getting bullied and things like that, I really then got into doing beautiful things. I wanted to do flowers and bright, colorful things, which was like the
Oh,
exact opposite of what I was feeling to kind of
okay.
force that into my life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So in that sense, that maybe I guess so. In other ways, I love doing the dark things when I'm
Yeah.
feeling be moody. I like to
Yeah.
do kind of dark, surreal things. I guess you know what? If you create something, then it's always connected to your life. So
Mm.
whether intentional or not, I guess now
Mm-hmm.
that I think about it, yeah. I mean,
That's
unless it's
interesting.
a
Yeah.
commission something for someone else, then that is kind of completely
Different.
disconnected. If it's a
Yeah.
portrait of someone that I've never met in my life and I don't know, then no.
Yeah.
But you know, um, I have done like maybe some more emotional pieces. I've done some
Mm.
that definitely did reflect maybe things going on in my life or how I was feeling. And at other times it was
Mhm.
just joy. I always like, oh man, growing up, I loved doing animals. I loved doing the landscapes. I loved kind of doing still
Mm.
life. I loved doing,
Nice.
again, the flowers and master copies, of Georgia O'Keeffe. So like,
Mm.
again,
Mm.
I do like a lot of different types of things. If you go on my
Yeah.
Instagram page and look at my artwork, I feel like I'm one of the few artists on
Yes.
the internet that doesn't have a consistent theme in my work. I
Okay.
have a lot of different things that I do.
I'm
So,
gonna, yeah. Can you share that as well? I'll try. I'll share the link of it so that
oh,
people
at
can.
Faith Costa _ original artwork.
Original artwork. All right. And I will add that in, just pulling the link. And with your art, then, would you say, like, how do you know when you're done with a piece? Like, what is the process? Because like I've never necessarily made like a painting and stuff. So I'm really fascinated with the process and understanding, like, how do you know if it's done? How do you know if you want to change something?
Sometimes you don't. I feel like I've had a lot of times where I'm like, is this done? Is it? And then either I work it too hard and then I go too past the point of finished, or
Yeah.
sometimes I stop too early and then want to go back to it later. Sometimes it feels like perfection. Sometimes it's like, yes, this is the moment. I am done. Last brush stroke, finished.
Yeah.
So I think
Oh,
for everyone, whoever has a process, it's different.
yeah.
Um, I do feel that as I've gotten older, as I've been doing this for years and years and years, my finished has become much more clear to me. I feel like in the
Gotcha.
beginning it was I kind of had to feel it out. I didn't know what that feeling was. And now
Mm.
I can pinpoint it more. Of feeling like this is complete. This is as good as it's gonna get. This is what I feel good about putting
Yeah.
out into the world or sharing.
Mm.
So, it's for me it's more how do I get started as opposed to how do I finish.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. And what are misconceptions that people should be aware of? Like, for instance, I've heard people say, oh, well, like art is expensive, art supplies are expensive. Like, it's not really for everyone. What are some things that you would like to, like, myths that you would like to kind of bust open and say, no, no, you know?
So as for the expense, it
Mm.
can be very, very expensive. Um,
Mm.
and I think that puts a lot of people off because you go into AC Moore and you see pencils and paper for, these prices that you wouldn't think. But also,
Mm-hmm.
paper is paper and pencils are pencils. And if you want to do it, you can use materials that you have. You don't have to have
Mm.
micron pens or these really expensive, whatever, things that
Mm.
you would think everyone uses.
Yeah.
You really don't. I mean, I know I have friends who go into, like the dollar store and get the dollar watercolor palettes and things like that. Like
Oh,
you
wow.
really
Okay.
like, and using what you have that's like perfectly fine. I do that sometimes
Awesome.
where I'm like, I used to, when I was little, if I had a piece of cardboard from a box, I would, draw on that. It doesn't
Mm.
have to be an expensive pad of paper or a big giant canvas. Like if you
Mm.
don't have that, use what you have and that'll make you different actually.
Mm. I love
So
that. Okay.
yeah. And then
Shout
I
out
would
to the dollar store. Yeah.
Yes, literally. Like if it works, it works. If you like it, no one's gonna know. I mean,
Hmm.
realistically, do people know exactly
Interesting.
what brand of pencil you're using? No. You
Hmm.
know, or
Yeah.
brand of it's how you use them.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
the other stigma, I guess, with when I started getting older and I was in art school, I thought I had to be in the art scene. I thought I had to be going to
Mm.
galleries, I had to know the right people and things like that.
Yeah.
Don't. And
Yeah.
I kind of found out that that wasn't for me. And that's
Mm.
okay. Um, you know, the major art buyer community, like those kinds of things, and going and, being in the black dress with the glass of wine and standing in front of a blank canvas saying, what
Yeah.
does this mean? It is not what art means to me. And that's
Okay.
okay. So I think that the stigma of thinking that art is something or should be something,
Mm,
not the case.
gotcha.
Art is whatever it means to you, and that's okay.
I love that.
That is totally your thing, then yes, do it, own it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But I know that like that wasn't for me.
Gotcha.
So the stigma of thinking that you have to fit into a certain community or do
Yeah.
certain things or go certain places just to be considered an artist is
Yeah.
not. If you make art, you're an artist.
Okay. And what I'd love for everyone to share with everyone, and please, guys, if you have questions or comments, please chime in. It's been really interesting to see the convergence of art and fashion, and it's always been related, right? Because there's always been fashion illustration, but particularly in the past, what you'd say maybe 5, 10 years, the kind of movement of body positive art. So if you could explain for everyone kind of what that is and why you got started with it, and maybe some of the things to how does one go about making body positive art?
So I started doing body positive art when I got in this fashion industry. Yes, when I started this new career of mine. And it was something that I did because I had never done it before. And I started to realize, like, why don't I? Like, if I want to show bodies that are different, that are like mine, I should be the one doing it, and my style of body positive art is different than my other art. It's much more cute and just happy and bright, things like that, because that's how I want my body positive art to be shown and represented. Because in art, so often there's, the bodies that you see, especially now in modern artists, like the living artists, are very this one type of person or woman or man. So again, it's like in media, how we don't see plus size bodies, we don't see different bodies. It's the same in art because art is media, and that's just one facet that very few are tapping into. So if you want to go about that, do it. One of my favorite body positive pieces that I did was I focused right here and I did lips and I focused on a double chin because that's something that I've literally never seen before of that focus. And because body positive art, I feel like a lot of times I see are more in the grand scheme of things. It's showing just the entire body and you kind of miss details, but I feel like body positivity has a lot of details that sometimes you miss out on: stretch marks, double chins, things like that, cellulite. So if you're doing art and you want to like also, continue on your body positive journey, it was really cathartic for me to do that. To combine those two worlds for me was so rewarding, and it still is. So absolutely. I recommend it, and I think it's really important.
Cool. I love it. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen, I shared the painting because that whole double chin, you're absolutely right. Women for how many years, right? We always feel so conscientious about like, oh, is it? And it's like, listen, boo, you are who you are. If you've got 2, 3, or 6 chins, you've got to love each and every one of them. I mean, so, live it up. Absolutely. Okay. And what are maybe some of the challenges that you've had to overcome as an artist, either in the beginning stages or now when you're at this stage of the game? What do you think, what resonates the most for you?
That there's no such thing as perfection. That was such a major thing for me. And even up to recently, I thought that art, like my work, I was never good enough. I would always compare myself to other people, and that getting through that was like major. Gotcha. So difficulties like that, you're gonna erase a lot, no matter what. You're gonna erase a lot. And I
Yeah.
still do, you know. But knowing that
Yeah.
there's no right way, you know, there's maybe
I
right
love
ways
that.
to use a material, you know, how to mix paint or something, or, you know, the paint thinner, you know, things like that. But there's no right actual way. So knowing that and like letting that sink in is like
Yeah.
huge. Because then you end up holding yourself back. Like I know
Yeah.
that like there was a period of time when I was really comparing myself to other people, and then I just stopped because I was like, well, I'm
Mm.
not gonna, I shouldn't even do it. Everyone else is doing it better. But
Oh,
so
wow.
that challenge was like,
Mm.
no, what I do is different than
Yeah.
that. Okay, so I have to put myself out there because someone's going to look at me and be
Yes.
inspired by me, just like
Yes.
I'm inspired by other people. So
Yes.
as an artist, we all have our challenges and they'll probably be different for you. Some of them might be the
Hmm.
same, but you have to kind of experience it and just do it and and push yourself through
Yeah.
and know that art is not perfect. If it were, it wouldn't be art. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Compare yourself to other people because no one is you and no one is going to create what you're going to create.
Exactly.
And just continue and do it and enjoy it.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Guys, are you taking, she's giving you life right now. Like, yes, yes, yes. I'm so happy to hear you say that because yeah, I think so many people out here are their worst critic. Like you can be your best advocate or your worst critic. And that inner bully that we all have where you're, and she's like talking to you and she's like, you can't do this. And girl, you know, this is terrible. It's awful, right? It's awful that inner bully we have, but we have to move past it. We have to just, I think for me, again, I wouldn't necessarily call myself like a full-fledged artist, right? Because I don't
Yeah, you
do
are.
anything of what you, I mean, definitely a content creator, but I want to work on my art because as you know, I love art and I
You
love,
make
like, I
art.
love
You're
it.
an artist. See, that's
Aw,
what the thing is. Like, you think that you're not an artist because you don't do a certain thing, but you are. You do art.
thank
You say,
you.
you know, if you're drawing, you're doing those doodles, like,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I draw. Yeah, I definitely draw. I definitely do a lot of drawing, and I want to get into painting. And you've inspired me. I'm going to try to sign up for a class because I think that I'd like to learn more technique, right? I'd like to understand just a little bit more about what, you know, brush strokes and all this stuff that you're supposed to do. So, you know, but I agree, right? Like art isn't supposed to be anything other than what we want it to be. And I think that, you know, the thing about it is like, stay focused, right, on purpose. If this is something that gives you happiness and life and joy, focus on that and do it. And yeah, kind of get rid of the what do people think about it, even the will I make money from it, right? Like follow the passion and then promote the passion, promote the product, and then see what happens from that, right? But just be willing to just do what you love. So I love that. Okay. Are there certain pieces that you're working on right now or that we should look out for in the future? Like, how does the planning work? Like, do you think about it like, oh, I'm going to draw this like Wonder Woman piece in November? Like, do you think about stuff like that or?
So I sometimes plan.
Mhm.
I have, you know, like these ideas of like for bigger pieces, I would say
Yeah.
I have things that I know that I'm going to do, but I don't know when I'm going to do them. It kind of I have to have the energy and the inspiration and the right mindset for it.
Yeah.
Um, but like for coming up, like, oh my gosh, it's going to be Inktober. Okay, everybody, Inktober is a thing. And it's the
I'll
month
look
of
that up and share
October,
that.
and
Yeah.
every day you're supposed to like do an illustration of some sort.
Ah.
However, I kind of cheat and it's not necessarily an illustration every day, but it's more of a practice to create art every day.
Ah.
Even if it's
Okay.
a little doodle, again, yeah, hashtag Inktober. It's like all over Instagram and it's been for like a couple of years. It's
Ah.
awesome. Last year I
Okay.
did not do super great. I think I was like traveling a lot or something. I like didn't, you know,
Yeah.
but just to try and do it and it forces you to practice every day and create
Ah.
some. And honestly, even if it's not Inktober, like just to challenge yourself like that,
Wow.
I do that. I think once a year at some point. I always kind of try to do
Yes.
something like that to get me rebooted, to
Very cool.
regenerate,
Very
re-inspired.
cool. I love it. Did you see? I just looked on right now. They have actually like a prompt list. So like October 1st begins with
Yeah.
something poisonous and then
Oh, they
some number.
released it.
And then, yeah, I shared it right here. So yeah, so then it's tranquil. And then number 3, October 3rd, it's roasted. And then I'm totally going to do this. Let's do this
Yes.
together. I'm going to,
Yes.
because I've never done that.
I forgot that they like make a prompt so that every day they give you a theme and then
Yeah.
you do that in however you see fit.
Huh.
But again, you can adapt it to your needs, your wants. If you need it once a week, if you want it every other day, like you do you. You
Yeah.
know, there's no set rules, but it's really nice that there's like this community and there's this
Yeah.
that you can do and share with your friends and do. So like Natasha, you and I are gonna do it.
Yes! That's so awesome!
Yes, October.
Yes! Oh, I'm so excited!
Yes, join us, do it. Practice
Yes!
it, even just a few, you know,
Yes.
just to get you started. It's a really great way to get started because it gives you instant inspiration, so you don't have to think of it on your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because like
absolutely.
sit down and be like, what do I want to draw? Is sometimes hard. But if they say, what was the first one? Tranquils. Okay, so tranquil. What do
Yeah.
you think of tranquil? And then you can go from there. It's a great way to get started.
Interesting. Are you gonna just draw everything, or are you gonna do painting too? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. See,
Yeah.
that's something that I can't plan.
Huh.
I feel like I'm gonna have to look at
Interesting.
this, I'm gonna have to look at the prompt and see if there's
Yeah.
one that like I really love that I know that I'm gonna want to like sit and if I have a full day, because
Yeah.
I have to like sit down for like several hours to do paint.
Oh, really?
But
Wow.
yeah, paintings take days.
That's
Or
good to
weeks.
know.
I
Okay.
used to take months to do my oil paintings. But for illustrations, I can crank out in an hour.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can go to the coffee shop, sit down, plug my music in,
Yeah.
and just get at it. So
Okay.
hopefully it'll be a bit of a mix.
Yeah, I think I want to draw, definitely draw. I probably will use a little bit of color. I don't know if I'll get to painting. That would be fun. Yeah.
Even if
Oh
you
my
do
gosh.
like dark colors or like
Oh,
pastels, like do it different, like try like different
interesting.
little facets. Yeah.
I'm so
Marker.
excited. Yes, you've just like made my October. Everyone here, guys, are you joining us for Inktober? This is going to be amazing. I can't even. Oh, you're going to do it every day, right?
Yes, I'm going to try. Now, I think one year, I forget what year it was. I think it was a couple years ago. I did get every single day.
Wow.
Last year, I did miss a few for
Mm-hmm.
some reasons, which is like, okay, you know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
the goal is the majority,
Yeah.
the goal is every day. But if you miss a
Absolutely.
couple for life purposes, it's
Yeah.
okay. Or make it up. Do
Absolutely.
2 in one day. You can make them up.
True. True.
So,
True. 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 Okay. Okay. Well,
yeah,
with
the
that,
goal is
I guess, do you have any last minute wisdom? Because I know you're super busy. When it comes to art, we all have an inner artist. What do we do to release her or him?
just try. I
Okay.
would say honestly, if you want to, really, if you feel like you have something inside of you and you want to figure out a way to get it out and express it through art, again, just do it. Give yourself that opportunity and know that it's, for you and it's therapeutic and it's
Yeah.
beautiful and it's going to be great. You can't be wrong. You can't fail at it. And so
Mm.
that nothing
Yeah.
should hold you back. What is literally holding you back? There's literally
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Unless it's a time crisis, unless you literally don't have the time.
Yeah.
There's really no reason that you can't.
Yeah.
Um, you know, yes, you should be in like a certain, you have the energy for it. It shouldn't be a
Yeah.
chore. If it feels like a chore, it's not the day for it. But
Mm.
again, taking those opportunities, taking a class, buying, fun books, finding
Yes.
artists to follow, doing
Yes.
challenges like this. There's so many different things that we just talked about that can
Yeah.
start for you to release your inner
I love
artist.
it.
Just do it. So
Yes.
honestly, every single thing we talked about, just do it. Everything we
I
said, do
love
it.
it. Absolutely. And so what's the best place people can follow you, learn more about you, support you, buy your art, all of that good stuff?
So you can go to my website, faithcosta.com. I have an art
Mm-hmm.
tab there, and I have 2 stores, one on Art Sugar and one on Society 6, or you can
Yep.
commission me to do paintings. I have my Instagram page at Faith Costa. Faith_original artwork,
Yep.
as well as my other page, Faith_plus fashion, which if you know me, that's my main page.
Yep.
Or hit me up here on Facebook, and I have my art page as well, Faith Costa Original Artwork or the Faith Plus Fashion. So
Love it.
lots of different ways to access me and my artwork and things I'm doing. Stay tuned for Inktober coming up, and
Yeah.
be a part of it and share that with
Yes.
us. Share that with me and Natasha. Tag us. Tag our
Yes.
pages.
Yes.
Love to see everyone partaking.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, you guys, if you follow me, Dressing Room 8, right? Go to dressingroom8.com. And then also, I will be posting my art on the Dressing Room 8 Instagram, which is instagram.com/dressing_room_8. And yeah, like guys, you have to share it with us. If you've never done it like me, I'm a newbie to it. So like, let's do this together. And for me, yeah, I mean, I've loved art because it makes me feel free, similar to what Faith's saying. It makes me feel like I can create a world. And as she said, I do love to create. It's why I became an entrepreneur. It's why I've been a poet, why I'm an art writer, like all the things that I do. I'm obsessed with creationism, and just like, there's nothing more beautiful, right? It's like the biggest thing that a human being can do. You can create a human, you can create a business, you can create art, right? Like, it's just remarkable what we're able to create in this world. So don't be afraid. Release that inner artist, release that creator inside of you. And yeah, with that, thank you for everyone watching. If you have follow-up questions for Faith, faithcosta.com. Reach out to her. She's always here and available. And guys, stay tuned for our Style for It Facebook Live this Saturday, okay? So thank you, and thank you, Faith. I'll see you soon, love.
So much.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Yep, bye.